Here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, tons of our guests have a favorite ocean animal or exhibit. But what about our staff?
To celebrate 40 years of inspiring conservation of the ocean, we thought we'd ask some of our staff what their favorite animals are.
So here they are, the aquarium's top 10 favorite animals.
Hammerheads are so amazing. I mean, just look at their head, right?
To marine biologists, we call their head a cephalofoil. If you've ever seen a hammerhead locking onto a fish that it has decided to hunt, I always think of it as like a jet fighter that's locked onto its target.
The big sea nettle exhibit that we have at the aquarium, it's just gorgeous.
I believe our sea nettle exhibit is the most photographed exhibit in the entire aquarium. And if guests ask me why, I take them to the exhibit.
Sea nettles and other types of jellies don't have brains, they don't have bones or spines, and yet they're still animals.
That exhibit is really an incredible celebration of an amazing and little understood animal.
A giant deep-sea isopod is basically like a roly-poly or a pill bug that you'd find in your backyard, but the size of a football. I think you can tell a lot about a person depending on if they think that the giant isopod is cute or terrifying.
I think I fall slightly terrifying. Its eyes are really dark and they look into your soul a little bit. But the top roly-poly part is also kind of cute. Can I be both?
It's so cool looking creature. It looks like a giant cockroach, right?
I think African penguins are a huge hit with our visitors because they look pretty cute. They're very short. They waddle around on those little feet.
There's no ice or snow in our exhibit because our African penguins aren't used to ice and snow.
African penguins come from the coast of South Africa, which actually shares a climate that's very similar to Monterey.
One element that I wish people could experience is the sound of an African penguin.
Oh boy, African penguins are noisy.
The giant sea bass is something with a very large presence in our exhibits. Let's just say that.
Giant sea bass first start their life out. They're really small and they look quite different to these large gray adults that you might be used to.
A baby giant black sea bass is the cutest thing you'll ever see. It's bright orange with a big old black pectoral fins and big black spots on it.
It doesn't look anything like the big gray lunking spotted behemoth that lunks around in the exhibit.
Giant sea bass, when they eat, they use a gulping technique. You can see everything in the water just whoosh, suck in when they do that big gulp.
You want to be sure that your hand isn't too close to their mouth because your hand gets sucked in there. Doesn't hurt or anything like that.
It's really cool, but it can also be intimidating when their mouth is about the size of your head.
Rockfish are so cool because they can live very long. Some of the rockfish can live up to 200 years.
There could be a rockfish right now in the Monterey Bay that was hatched when Abraham Lincoln was president.
If you visit our kelp forest exhibit, you will see rockfish everywhere. They are hanging out on the rocks, trying to blend in with the kelp blades, or just swimming around the water column.
Another thing about the rockfish is that they actually good fish to eat. I love eating rockfish.
Thanks to the establishment of marine protected areas, rockfish populations are thriving. All rockfishes in the United States are considered a best choice or good alternative on our Seafood Watch program.
So yeah, sorry rockfish, but you taste good.
A nudibranch is kind of like a sea slug. So they're mollusks, like clams and mussels and scallops, but they come in all sorts of colors.
You have to get up close to see them, but they're like a jewel. In the tide pools, in the kelp forest, they're like a piece of art.
Who isn't a fan of nudibranchs? There are over 3,000 species of nudibranchs, and there are still new species being discovered.
I think people at the aquarium are nudibranch fans because we like the fact that the hidden gems of the ocean are often overlooked. It's easy to get people excited about otters and penguins, like they're amazing, but to get someone excited about a nudibranch, I mean, that's like a home run.
I caught the ire of many of my coworkers the other day because I mentioned that I am kind of over nudibranchs. I know. Ooh, all right, this is a good one. My favorite ocean animal, or animal of all time, is actually our giant Pacific octopuses.
Giant Pacific octopus are a cold water species of octopus. They can reach pretty large sizes. The largest one on record had over a 20-foot arm span.
They're the masters of these guys, and they can change color and shape instantly, like an underwater chameleon.
I have a lot of respect for the strength of the giant Pacific octopus. They have over 2,000 suckers across their 8 arms. These allow them to hold on to anything that they could want.
Those suckers, in fact, are super, super cool because they allow them to not only feel the world around them, but they can also taste the world around them as well. They can smell their environment, check out what different surfaces that they're engaging with.
They actually smell through their arms, right? Imagine you have a bunch of little noses.
Even good smells, that might be a little too much.
When I think about a sea otter, frankly, the first thing I think about is magic. The first time I ever saw a sea otter, it was like seeing a unicorn.
I think people say sea otters are cute because they are. They have big eyes, a ton of fur, cute little noses, and of course little paws that they use to grab onto things. Our sea otters are rescues who are non-releasable, meaning that they would not survive in the wild.
Sea otters are an absolutely iconic species here in Monterey Bay, and recovering them has been a central project of the Monterey Bay Aquarium to which we've been very committed for the past 40 years.
Here at Monterey Bay Aquarium, we have programs that are designed to help rescue and rehabilitate sea otters and release them back to the wild. They are incredibly important to California's coastal ecosystem.
Kelp forests are healthier and more resilient to climate change when sea otters are present.
They're just a great way to tell the story of the interconnectedness of all the plants and animals that make up Monterey Bay. I would have to say my favorite animal at the aquarium is the ocean sunfish, or mola mola. They are such an unlikely animal.
Oh, I love the sunfish. To me, it looks like a pancake with flaps.
Imagine the largest pizza you can conceive.
That you've stood up on its side and added fins to the top, bottom, and back.
As well as bright eyes that look like they're shocked at everything that's happening around them.
Ocean sunfish are the largest bony fish in the ocean, period. They can reach over 10 feet across and almost 5,000 pounds.
and you just have to wonder, how does it swim?
The ocean sunfish are occasional and temporary visitors to our open sea exhibit, and everyone gets super excited when they see them.
It sounds so silly to get so excited about one fish, but when you see one, it's like nothing you've ever seen before. It's a really incredible animal.
Ocean sunfish eat mostly jellyfish out in the wild.
In the wild, ocean sunfish and other animals are mistaking our plastic for their food. When you have plastic floating on the surface, it looks exactly like a jelly to an ocean sunfish. And that is what they eat.
We can do our part to protect ocean sunfish and all the other ocean animals that we love by reducing the plastic we use and supporting legislation that will help reduce plastic at the source.
The fact that the Monterey Bay Aquarium's mission is to inspire conservation of the ocean is really what helps guide me when I'm taking care of these animals.
Every day, I feel thankful and grateful for the opportunity to have been able to participate in this legacy of ocean conservation that the aquarium has been conducting throughout its 40-year history.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If you want to learn more about our favorite animals, go to our website at montereybayaquarium.org. And don't forget to leave a comment and tell us what your favorite ocean animal is.